Hello, welcome to our video. Uh, Let me introduce myself first. Me Luthfiah Zahra and today I'll talk about some summary again, but it's different from previous one because today I'll explain to you some summary. It's a tense article summary, but don't you worry, I'll explain to you clearly so you can understand easily, and I'll hope this video is very useful for you. And yeah, happy watching. Okay, let's talk about the table of content. This is include of the 10th title of the article that I will talk about. Okay, the first one is the flipped classroom learning model implementation and its impact on EFL learner satisfaction on grammar class. The second one is the vocabulary teaching strategies by EFL teachers of junior high school level. The third one is the teaching of English vocabulary to young learners. The next one is using songs in teaching pronunciation to young EFL learners. The next one is the effects of using games or English vocabulary learning. Okay, the next one is the TikTok as a media to enhancing the speaking skill of EFL students. The next one is the role of the video materials in EFL classroom. Then the next one is the teacher strategies in teaching English vocabulary in junior high school. The next one is the improvement of the students' ability in writing procedures text using video receipt. And the last one is the in-class flip model in teaching speaking, improving elementary student skill and learning process. Okay, next let's talk about the first one article. The first one article with the title Flip Classroom Learning Model, Implementation and its Impact on EFL Learners Satisfaction on Grammar Class by Belinda Mandasari and Ahmad Wahyudi, published in 2021. Okay, let's talk about the purpose of the article. The main goal of this study was to explore how flipped classroom model was implemented in grammar classes and how it impacts student satisfaction. The researchers wanted to know whether this method could make learning grammar more effective and engaging. Okay, the next one is the method. The study used a descriptive qualitative approach involving 48 students from the English education program at Universitas Teknorat Indonesia. The data were collected through observation, a 13-item Likert scale questionnaire, and also the interviews. The flipped classroom was implemented using an online platform called Spada, where students access learning videos before class and use class time for discussion and application. Okay, let's talk about the findings of the article. The results show that the flipped classroom was successfully applied and helped overcome limitation of traditional grammar instruction. Students felt more confident, independent, and better prepared for class. Most of them rate their satisfaction very highly with average scores between 4.02 and 4.23. The model also improved their critical thinking and allowed more meaningful learning interaction during class. For the second article titled Vocabulary Teaching Strategies by EFL Teachers of Junior High School Level, written by Panjaitan, Sebarani, and Saragi in 2021. Okay, let's talk about the purpose of this article. The aim of this study was to find out what strategies junior high school English teachers use to teach vocabulary and how the strategies support student vocabulary learning and classroom engagement. Okay, the next one is the method. This research used a qualitative approach involving 10 English teachers from different junior high schools. The data were collected through an online questionnaire that included both multiple choice and open-ended questions. The researchers analyzed the response by classifying, coding, and grouping the answer into the specific terms. Okay, then let's talk about the findings of this article. Okay, the study identifies 6 case areas of vocabulary teaching strategies. First, most teachers prepared various materials such as lesson plans, media, games, and videos to improve student focus. And the second one is they mostly use textbook for 62% and along with studio pictures and reading text for 50%. And the third assessment includes multiple choice questions used by 75% of teachers, essay, games, and even storytelling. And the fourth, teacher activities involve explaining vocabulary, giving exercises, using synonyms, and helping students find word meanings. And next is the fifth stage. Students participate in activities like watching videos, writing and memorizing new words, and playing vocabulary games. And finally, the last one is the use of visual and interactive materials was found to increase student motivation and vocabulary mastery. The teaching English vocabulary to young learners by Lalawati, Dia, and Mailani, published in 2018. Let's talk about the purpose of this article. The purpose of this study was to explore and describe the techniques used by an English teacher to teach vocabulary to young learners in an Indonesian elementary school. It focused on how the teaching methods were adapted to meet children's learning needs and characteristics. let's talk about the method of this article. This was descriptive qualitative study conducted through classroom observation and interviews with the teachers. The researchers observed how the teacher conducted vocabulary lessons with first grade class at SDN pada Suka 2 and collected insight into the strategies used during the teaching process. Okay, let's talk about the findings of this article. The findings show that the teacher used various techniques to introduce and practice new vocabulary. During the presentation stage, techniques such as flashcard, miming, braille, pictures, and translation were used to help students understand new words. In the practice stage, students work on identifying and matching tasks. The teachers also applied additional activities, including song, games, repetition, modeling, and also Q&A session. These techniques keep students highly engaged, enthusiastic, and responsive. Let's talk about the purpose of this study. This study aims to investigate whether using songs in EFL classrooms is more effective than traditional texts in teaching English pronunciation to young learners. The benefit of this research is to offer a fun, engaging alternative to traditional pronunciation drills, helping learners improve their pronunciation and increase motivation through music-based activities. Okay, let's talk about the fourth article with the title Using Songs in Teaching Pronunciation to Young EFL Learners by Saldi Renner and Jim Kara, published in 2021. Okay, for the purpose of this article is the study was conducted to explore how songs can be used as an effective tool to teach pronunciation to young English learners. The researchers wanted to find out whether songs could work better than traditional text-based method in helping students pronounce English words correctly. They also aimed to see how using songs might affect student motivation, confidence, and enjoyment during learning. The study was based on the idea that music can create a fun and stress-free learning environment, which is especially helpful for young learners. Okay, let's move to the method of this article. The researchers used a quasi-experimental design with a pre-test and post-test. There were 72 students, aged 10 to 12, divided into two groups. One group learned pronunciation through pop song and karaoke activities, while the other group used regular reading text and worksheets. Student pronunciation was recorded and evaluated by two native speaker readers. In addition, the researchers used a teacher diary to observe student behavior and motivation throughout the lesson. Okay, let's talk about the findings of this article. The results show that the group who learned through song improved their pronunciation significantly more than the group using text. The students in the song group were also more motivated, enthusiastic, and confident during lessons. Teacher diary notes revealed that music helped reduce anxiety and create a more enjoyable classroom atmosphere. In short, using songs made pronunciation practice more effective and fun for young learners. Okay, let's move to the fifth article with the title The Effects of Using Games on English Vocabulary Learning by Direction and Kati, published in 2015. Okay, the purpose of this article was to explore how games can enhance vocabulary learning in English as a foreign language or EFL classroom. The authors believe that learning vocabulary should be more than just memorizing lists. It should be meaningful, fun, and engaging. So, they aim to show that games could make learning more interactive, help learners retain new words longer, and even reduce classroom stress. The article also wanted to guide teachers in choosing effective, level-appropriate games for their students. Okay, let's move to the method used in this article. This article is a literature review, meaning the authors did not conduct a new experiment. Instead, they collect and analyze findings from several previous studies that use both traditional and digital games for vocabulary instruction. They compare the outcomes and discuss how different types of games affect learning in various age groups and learning settings. Okay, let's talk about the findings of this article. The review found that games had a positive impact on vocabulary acquisition. They help learners feel motivated and engaged, created meaningful learning context, and support better memory retention. The article includes examples such as picture games, word puzzles, and digital games like Shakes, all of which show improved vocabulary results. However, it also points out that some games, like music video games, can be distracting if not designed properly. Overall, the article concluded that well-chosen games are powerful tools in vocabulary teaching, especially when adapted to students' needs and levels. Of this article is the study found that video materials help create authentic and meaningful learning experiences. Students show improvement in their listening and speaking skills, and they were more motivated to participate in class. Videos made the lesson more dynamic, interactive, and enjoyable for the students. The researchers conclude that video materials are effective tools for improving both language skills and classroom engagement. Okay, next, let's talk about the benefit of this article. This study aimed to explore whether the TikTok application could improve the of students' speaking skills, particularly through storytelling activities. The benefit of the research is to show how a popular social media platform can be transformed into an educational tool that promotes student confidence, fluency, and motivation in speaking English. Okay, for the next strengths of this article. For the first is modern and relevant media. TikTok is widely used by students, making the learning experience relatable and engaging. And for the second one is multiple data sources. The use of pre-test or post-test and observation and questionnaires provides all-rounded insight. And next is significant result. The study shows measurable improvement in speaking performance over 2 learning cycles. And next, both effective factors. The study highlights how TikTok reduces anxiety and increases creativity and enjoyment. And the last one is accessible approach. The method is applicable in many schools, especially with limited face-to-face time. Okay, what the weaknesses of this article? For the first is small and localized sample. Only one classroom was studied, so result may not apply broadly. And the next one, the second one is focus on one skill. The study focused only on speaking. Other skills like listening or grammar are not addressed. Okay, the third one is short duration. The study was conducted in a limited time frame, so long-term improvement is not known. Okay, the next one, the last one is platform dependency. Articles with the title The Role of Video Materials in the EFL Classroom by Bajrami and Ismaili, published in 2016. Okay, the purpose of the study was to examine how video materials support the teaching and learning process in English classroom. The authors believe that videos can make lessons more engaging and provide live context for language use. They want to find out whether using video could improve student listening comprehension, speaking fluency, and overall motivation in learning English. Okay, let's talk about the method used in this article. This was a qualitative study conducted in a high school in North Macedonia. The researchers used a classroom observation and student questionnaires to collect data. They observed how videos were integrated into the classroom and asked students how they feel about learning English through video content. Okay, let's talk about the findings of this case. The findings of this article is the study found that video materials help create authentic and meaningful learning experiences. Students show improvement in their listening and speaking skills, and they were more motivated to participate in class. Videos made the lesson more dynamic, interactive, and enjoyable for the students. Strategies in teaching English vocabulary in junior high school by Goldtop and College, published in 2022. Okay, the purpose of this study was to explore what strategies English teachers use to teach vocabulary at the junior high school level. The authors wanted to understand how teachers plan, deliver, and assess vocabulary instruction, and how they respond to common challenges like limited class time or mixed student proficiency. Okay, let's talk about the method used in this article. The researchers used a descriptive qualitative method. They interviewed several English teachers from junior high school in Medan using semi-structured questions. The interviews explored teaching techniques, classroom experiences, and assessment strategies. Okay, for the next is the findings of this article. The study found that teachers use strategies like visual aids, contextual teaching, repetition, translation, and games to make vocabulary learning more effective. However, teachers also face challenges, including large class size and limited instructional time. Improvement of students' ability in writing positive text using video receipt by Ahmad Zaki Yamanilati, published in 2022. Okay, the purpose of this study is the study aims to improve students' ability to write procedural text in English by using video recipes as a learning tool. The author believes that students often struggle with writing steps clearly and in order. So, the study explored whether watching step-by-step cooking videos could help students better understand the structures, sequence, and vocabulary needed in procedural writing. Okay, let's talk about the method. This was a classroom action research, or CAR, conducted in 2 cycles. The participants were 9 grade students from SMP Negeri 1 Malunda. Data were collected through observation, writing tests, and documentation. Students watched video receipts, discussed the steps, and then wrote their own procedural text. Okay, let's talk about the findings of this article. The findings show a significant improvement in students' writing scores from cycle 1 to cycle 2. Video receipts help students understand how to organize their ideas logically and use appropriate vocabulary. Students were also more motivated and active during class. For the last one article is the in-class flip model in teaching speaking by Adian Fauzi, published in 2019. Okay, the purpose of this article is the study was to improve elementary school students' speaking skill using the in-class flip model. This method was designed especially for students who have limited access to the internet. So, the teachers brought the videos-based learning experience into the classroom. The study aimed to make speaking practice more engaging and accessible for young learners by combining technology with face-to-face support. Okay, next one is the method used in this article. This was a classroom action research, or CAR, involving 6 students of 5th grade from an Islamic elementary school. The learning process was organized into 3 learning stages. Okay, for the first one, watching videos materials. And the second one is the practicing vocabulary and pronunciation. And for the last one, constructing sentence structures. The teacher also used observation sheets, interview, and speaking assessment. Okay, the last is the findings of article. The results show that students improve in vocabulary, pronunciation, and sentence construction. They become more confident, interactive, and motivated. Now that I have finished presenting all 10 articles, I'd like to share how the studies are connected to one another. Although the topics vary, there's a clear pattern across the articles. They all focus on using creative, student-centered approach to improve English learning. Many of articles highlight how digital tools such as TikTok, video recipes, and flipped classroom models can make learning more engaging, especially for speaking, writing, and grammar practice. These tools give students more independence and help them feel more confident using the language. Several articles like Articles 2, 3, 5, and 8 focus specifically on vocabulary strategies, including the use of games, visuals, repetitions, and songs. These methods were especially helpful for young and junior high school learners. They made learning more fun and helped students remember new words better. And for the Articles 4 and 6, both emphasize the importance of lowering anxiety through enjoyable activities like singing and storytelling videos. These techniques help students feel more relaxed and confident when speaking. What's most interesting is that across all the 10 studies, the researchers found that motivation, confidence, and interaction were key to student success. Whether it was through camps, technology, or classroom strategies, all the articles support the idea that learning English becomes more effective when it's meaningful, interactive, and enjoyable. Okay, that's it all from me, and I hope this video is useful for you all. I say thank you for you all.